Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the bottom right side is the teal or turquoise, what was that? Judy? Yes, Judy. We have the Sixel. Spawn on top left side as the magenta Zhaotiantong. We have Deadazztec with two A's, or two Z's. Not two A's. I suppose two A's. You can see an A in front of D and after D. The way it comes to COs, both are custom COs. Zhaotiantong, he has minus 90% boarding cost, no CO zone, no CO expansion, no CO's energy, and the CO's zone is effectively not even existing as well. He can board his unit at minus 90% cost, which means you get when the CO unit boards the unit, you get that you get 90% refund rebate of the production cost unit. Additionally, it does also make it so it does still retain the full vector state, but no CO power or superpower, no zone benefits, so that is basically it. Cannot board naval units that are located on HQ because some maps are like that. Judy is the salvage specialist. She has 30% of boarding costs, 3 CO zone, no expansion, no energy, no art designer or questionable art designer, maybe just AI generated. Howdy. And of course she gets plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, receive funds 30% of the damage of your CO zone units dealt to units. So you get 30% salvage. And looks like my YouTube chat is still bugged out. I need to figure out how to fix that. Probably update the program for the chat I use, because right now it's not pulling it up. Should be visible. Maybe if I just do that. Judy looks so wide when the side by side like that. Not really. Either way, let's go ahead and actually get started. Let's see now. This map is, of course, it is a double base map for both sides. Plus 1 airport, so it's probably going to be a decent amount of battlecopters deployed out this game. And more bases, less battlecopters seem like. This map does offer 1 radio station and no comm towers. Radar provides plus 3 defense stars rather than plus 2. Still provides income. In general, while in Advanced Wars, Dual Strike, and by web, a lot of unique properties don't necessarily provide income, but in Days of Ruin, most of the unique properties do provide income. Do have a bike now deployed on the field by Judy. Now think about it, these two COs are relatively similar counterparts. One gives you value for fighting, the other one gives you value return for just simply building up your CO unit. So both of them have a slight economic advantage to each other. And Judy does not provide... does provide a bit of CO zone firepower, 20% and 10%. Does load herself up into a recon, trying to salvage their guns and carcasses. And early APC, that's interesting. We do also, is early APC by both sides. That's very unusual. Guess both players trying to push over the left side. APC and recon to charge on in over here. Of course, there's no fog of war, so you can make a pretty good measured guess where your opponent's units are. Like right here. Battlecopter, infantry. Battlecopter would be a decent counter to the tank. Judy could charge for a command tank and let the battlecopter come in reserve. Got a battlecopter down here, over here as well. Battlecopter is somewhere in the middle, so it's easy to get into combat pretty quickly, even for air units. Does get a bit of salvage here by striking this unit. Good strike there. Puts around into the APC, which is not exactly a critical unit. Got multiple battlecopters here. Both sides pulling out a large number of battlecopters. And double infantry there. Judy could... battlecopters out of range of the opponent's battlecopters, so can't get any shots there. His infantry unit there gets a bit of salvage. APC or rig falls back there. I always forget to call rigs in this game rather than APCs, so my apologies if I make that mistake. Good shot there onto the battlecopter. And there as well. Falls back there. Battlecopter pushes forward. Strikes the command copter. Lose the command copter, so that costs what? 1,000 funds? The more. Basically, how this CO wants to play, you really going to be hyper aggressive to your CO units because since you get 90% rebate, means that 9,000 cost battlecopter turns into a 900 fund cost battlecopter. So it's even that battlecopter was even cheaper than an infantry unit. You have now dust deployed on the field by Judy, so she's able to really counter these battlecopters. I do like it. Got a good amount of salvage there as well. That is Advance Wars Days of Ruin. Of course, it's the web version of it, so it's off the tinywars.online game. Good strike there, get some good hits. Or you're talking about the matchup. You're probably talking about the matchup. You probably know what the game is. Sorry. I am a little bit brain dead. Good shot there. Anti-air heading down south. Hasn't reloaded his CO unit. I really think how to play the CO, you gotta be hyper-griff CO units because it's not worth all too much. What? Oh, but there's a war tank. Better CO into that. Get a pretty decisive, get a 90% rebate onto it. And this APC or Recon doing some good work there, getting some decent salvage. Medium tank horse explorer in the field. Does not lose that battlecopter somehow. It's down to 1 HP. No, I don't know what the game is I got recommended. What's the most similar modern game? You know? There's not really a most similar modern game. This is actually a game that was originally released on the Nintendo DS. Or, yeah, Nintendo DS during the DS Lite era. Advance Wars series is a pretty old series and a very fun series. Got the command tank and load up in the war tank. The CO load on the war tank. Blah, I cannot speak. And we do have actually a fighter deployed on the field, so it looks like Purple's really on the attack up. Medium tank push way forward. Again, anti-tank down here. Anti-tanks are pretty slow, but they're pretty good. Finish off some of these outlying units there. Get a decent amount of salvage with a CO zone. I know about Axis Allies, that old board game. Never really played it. Good shot there on the recon. And the bike did not get enough firepower to take out the infantry unit. At 1 health versus infantry unit versus 1 health infantry unit, it's basically a toss-up. And the fighters push way forward, trying to hunt down the Duster, who's now maximum veterancy, so does have a decent amount of way to can defend itself. Decent amount of tech up here as well. Both players just really teching up with the higher tier units. I guess Judy really gets a lot of salvage. Of course, Zhaotiantong got a decent amount, of course, rebate with his command units. The fighter's going to be a bit difficult for Judy to deal with. Maybe anti-air will be useful, which she does have one down here. Yes, if you're familiar with Advanced Wars by Web, Tiny Wars is the Days of Ruin counterpart. And overall, the website's actually much nicer, in my opinion. You don't have to worry about any plugins to play sound, and everything is pretty clean. It's easy to pick up Tiny Wars. Got an artillery piece here, an infantry, and a T-copter. Good shot there. Anything falling back? Anti-air tank and mech there. Drops mech there. Duster moving around. Takes the medium tank there. And now the fighter push way forward, blocking the road. Anti-air is way back here. The other anti-air is way down here, so the fighter will block the road. Because Advanced Wars logic, aircraft can block roads, or block pathing. And all you can do is hurl harsh language sometimes. Battlecopter push way forward. I wonder how effective this max vet duster would be against a fighter. Deal 56 damage. Actually, I would take that fight. But of course, there's anti-air here to retaliate. You take push way forward, good strike there on the tank. Anti-air push way forward. War tank can range the war tank, but does have the support of the anti-tank. And now we've got a fighter here to engage the fighter. Does take the shot there against the fighter, and I think it rolled almost max luck as well, so got additional point of damage. Good shot there. Duster does go down. The fighter can go down. Probably best to use the fighter to engage the battlecopter and then use the anti-air to engage the fighter. The war tank took some severe damage. Of course, the anti-tank is still in range. We'll be able to get a good amount of salvage there. Remember as well, this command tank did receive a heavy discount, so not a big thing to lose. There's a big item to lose. Bike, war tank, fighter. Oh. So the fighter's trying to engage the fighter. And the problem is the anti-air is in range, so the fighter has coverage. Anti-air coverage. War tank does go down. Could seal the battlecopter if it needs a forward CO zone immediately. Or I could just seal in the war tank once again. I'm thinking actually more battlecopter at this point in time. Tank. Does seal the war tank. Fighter does a good strike there. Got an anti-tank next by, and next turn that fighter will be healed up to 7. Another tank down there. Mech. Look at the funding difference, 21,000 versus 14. That is very significant. But teal or turquoise can capture the left side of the map, takes the anti-tank and some of those outlying units. Good strike there on the battle copter. So overall, purple has a massive advantage. Good strike there, double tank. Artillery piece in good range. Tank blocking the bridge. Fighter does strike the fighter. And this is going to be a property flip, so Judy's going to be even farther behind. I think she's only staying in because all the salvage, because there's been some massive conflicts there, getting a lot of salvage from her CO zone. But she's lacking a lot of assets here for that. Fighter does take out that there. Tank moves over there. T-copter falls back. Trying to probably transport a newly fresh spawned unit. Tank. Good strike there. There's still a full health war tank, which will probably range the artillery piece. Getting some decent salvage there. Assuming she spent all of her money, she did get about 6,000 extra funds this turn. Able to keep up with the economy. Right now she's 101,000 for 73, so she is lacking a bit of units on the field as well. And fighters are sitting back here, getting repaired on up. There's only one battlecopter here to engage, for it to find and take it out. And I got another battlecopter there. Engaging that anti-tank there. Takes out the bike there. Tank finished off the tank. Of course, the mech will get a good counter strike. One fresh health infantry unit there. Battlecopter pushing up north. War tank out of range of the war tank. And now I've got a rocket deployed in the field. And the fighter decides the base to lock the airport. How rude. But the interior can retaliate. It will be at 5 health next turn. Battlecopter. I think as well, this fighter's in range of the CO zone, so Judy will get a decent amount of salvage there. War tank does not engage the war tank, gets a good strike in that regular tank. Battlecopter gets a good strike there in the war tank. Finish off the infantry unit there. We start to capture some of these properties. A 1 health infantry unit there, just be a bit of a body blocker. Rocket pushing up north, anti-tank. So decent amount of direct fire by Judy. As well, even more of our properties starting to be flipped down here, and Zhaotiantong has a massive force down here as well of tanks. So the anti-tank is probably just trying to lock down the region, may try to pull on top of the HQ or on top of the city. War tank's in range of the war tank, and may be a one-shot. It's on top of a road. Yeah, we'll be able to take the war tank. Artillery piece right there. Anti-air will not be able to range the fighter. Goes straight for the battlecopter. Bonnie's got another. Goes for a bike there. Battlecopter probably engaged over here. A full bomber deployed in the field does seal inside of the war tank as well, so the CO unit will not go into the bomber. A lot of units push away forward up there. Unable to engage the mech. The mech will get a good strike on this tank here. Anti-tank and tank blocking the road. The bridge. And we'll actually fully deploy our temporary airport. Good strike down the command tank. And of course, got this war tank push way forward. Bomber sitting over here as well, as was a fighter. We have a Duster here to help engage some of these various air units. War tank has one shot left, so it has been consuming quite a bit of its ammo. These are some of these outlying units. Got another Duster here. Two Dusters should be able to contend against a single reasonable fighter, but this Duster got hit by anti-air. And looks like now Purple's going to push way forward. This tank will probably need to fall back because the anti-tank is in range. But the anti-tank can... There's nothing here to really push through the anti-tank. It's only be able to be hit by one unit. So the anti-tank can stay there. Make it support up by another vehicle. Zhaotiantong ends the turn of 145,000 field. Judy starts the turn of 85. She's been having a really bad income this entire game. Gets a good strike with the rocket. Good strike there on the bomber. Takes out a bomber. Interrupts the capture there. Command tank here almost goes down, which honestly leaving that command tank down with 1 health means it won't be able to do much, and it may be a good idea for him just to sack it, or even just outright delete it if he can't lose it this turn. Bike gets a good strike there on the anti-tank. Got artillery deployed out over here to help support the anti-tank. Good strike on the Dusters. Duster does go down there. Fighter takes out that unit. All of Turquoise's aircraft are now down. Down to 60,000 versus 121 is really looking bad for Judy. Thing as well, most of these aircraft are now sort of useless. Goes for a medium tank and that's it. Anti-tank needs to fall back, prod to the HQ. Mech battlecopter tank. Overall, I think Judy will probably lose the game. It's the lack of income has been her whole issue. She's been fighting very well from behind, but not well enough to say the least. Now the tanks can push the way forward, zone out everything over here. Has nothing to really stop all this. The anti-tank is going to pose a problem. The regular tank already breached the bridgehead. And making great headways up there. It even takes out, basically knocks out the command tank. There goes the rocket. And now we've got 135 with still 13,000, so 150 versus just 56 is basically triple the value. Battlecopter infantry there. Of course, Nuzzles can't really do much versus medium tanks. Tank, Battlecopter, tank. And Turquoise has surrendered this Angrade, saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay.